Welcome back into European Masters. Ender has been cracking up this entire time. I'm going to try to see if I can break him the moment we get back in by reminding him I'm wearing a fish shirt while having mentioned noodling.
Nice.
There we go, did it. Worked like a charm. We're getting ready for game 2 of the quarterfinals. mousesports backs up against the wall, but a Go Rogue surprised a lot of people by not only changing up their composition, but then dominating with it.
Yeah, it was crazy, right? Like, we were talking a lot during sort of like our post-game analysis, right, about how Czekolad absolutely dominated there on the Syndra, but I think, you know, props has to go to the rest of the team as well. You know, Zanzarah was completely on top of the objectives with a very early Herald steal, got every single Drake, and even some of the team-wide moves, right, when they all collapsed towards that middle lane to drop the Herald, knock out the turret. It did feel very, very clean from them, you know, start to finish.
It really did feel great coming in from them, but I want to see how they're going to be able to live up in game 2. If they're going to be able to have the same kind of performance, or if it's going to be MOUZ trying to answer that early game. That's what we expected of them coming into this quarterfinals. That's how they were going to play, yet they picked the scaling comp.
Big surprise, for sure, and already things going to be changing up in this draft as mousesports banned the Thresh away themselves. So now I'm wondering, like, how much do they care about something like the Varus, right, that was picked very early on over on the side of Rogue? Do they want to, you know, tip that early on? Varus, the most contested ADC it's felt like during EU Masters. Certainly in terms of picks, overall we see a whole lot of Aphelios bans as well, which is what Rogue are going to throw down here too. But the Kalista was what they banned last time. Right. So now, like, the alarm bells are like going off in my head. Are we going to have like a lot of ADCs open? Are we going to see something a little bit different? Is the Kalista all of a sudden going to be an option here that MOUZ want to look for themselves?
That's what I was wondering, because we haven't seen Woolite play that yet. We've seen Jeskla play that before and do pretty well. So I almost wonder if you leave a Kali open, do MOUZ dare first pick a Kali?
See, it's an interesting one, because I feel like we have seen that played over on the side of Rogue, right? Szygenda played that one up in the top side of the map. I was gonna say, I don't know if they necessarily first pick that for themselves, but it gets banned, so either way, we will not be able to find that one out here.
There's the Kalista first locked in by Jeskla. Gotta be able to have that in the bot lane. Tarek, another option that they can throw in, making it so that they have not only the mid game, but they also have this tool for late game scaling to be able to keep them alive, and then have Ren stacks from Kalista to secure those objectives when it comes to it, if a go for that same style.
Yeah, so I'm guessing it is going to be the Varus again down here in the bot side for Woolite, with that being left open. You know, you do have the range advantage up against the Kalista, and while she can, you know, have very favorable trades early on in the lane phase, if, you know, you're caught out and she's paired with a strong support alongside her, the Varus, you know, can sort of like keep her arms like drop down the slow to make it really hard for her to catch on up. And also, one thing that I think goes unnoticed a lot with the Varus pick, as, whoa, we get the power 2v2 around mid lane, we'll talk about that in a second here, is actually the Grievous Wounds built into Varus' E, especially on a champion like Kalista that almost always is going to be going for the Blade of the Ruined King first, can cut down on the healing, being pretty effective.
Yeah, but then on the other side, Gragas, Yasuo, locked in. Pretty much, we look over to Cloud9 with how they were one of the teams that really popularized that combination of being able to work so well together. You use Explosive Cask in tandem with Last Breath out of Leader. This is something that we expect more from MOUZ. This is much more of the duo from Obsess and Leader that has been seen so many times in European Masters.
Yeah, so now I'm wondering, with the Gragas Yasuo, of course, locked in, you know, being a pretty telling hand, you know, jungle mid combination there, could this be a mid lane Renekton now for Czekolad? We know that Renekton into Yasuo can be a very good matchup with a Sejuani alongside you as well. You can actually look to attack this lane pretty early on too, if Yasuo is sort of ever overextending, and let's face it, Yasuo Windwall going to do nothing in that 2 versus 2, so this is a matchup where Rogue can look to take support fourth here, maintain that flex possibility, and look to get themselves 2 very powerful lanes.
Just looking back at my stats, I have not seen a game that Czekolad has played Renekton this year. Doesn't mean that it's not possible and something that they haven't practiced, but I'm wondering if maybe the play would then be just swap lanes, send Szygenda in mid lane to try to deal with Leader on Yasuo, and then have Czekolad in a top lane on something that's going to be more like maybe a Diana if they can get the favorable matchup.
Yeah, no, I think that could be, you know, depending on what they end up locking in here, Comfort will play first. Now, for Rogue, support option, is it going to be the Tahm Kench again? I think Tahm Kench, no, I would not be happy with the Tahm Kench personally. I think maybe perhaps a Nautilus could fit in well here, but they are going to pick themselves the Syndra. Now, I don't love this coming in here. Like, obviously, they haven't seen the support on the other side, so they want to get counterpick for bot lane, potentially, but to go ahead and say, no, we're not actually going to play the Renekton in the mid lane is a bit of a letdown for me, even though Szygenda played a great Renekton game last game. Not Woolite. Czekolad played a great Syndra game last as well. This is definitely playing more into comfort as opposed to, like, the great matchup.
It is, with Maokai now locked in, something that is going to try to play more around the team fights. Is that going to be Bard locked in? That would be a little bit interesting on the side of MOUZ with a bit of dysynergy of Explosive Cask and Tempered Fate.
They're not going to blind a Bard, are they?
That's what I'm wondering. Do you?
I don't think
okay,
so.
there
I
it
want to
is.
see the
Galio
Nautilus.
makes more sense.
I want to see the Nautilus. Oh, okay. I actually like this a lot as well. When you have, like, heavy divers as too, Galio is one of those champions that sort of flies under everyone's radar because it's not picked a whole lot down bot side. We see it mostly actually paired with a fasting Senna in the bottom lane. But when Yasuo gets a knockup, wants to go into the back line, you have a Galio on top of that as well. There's tons of setup in the team fights to really enable leader here.
And there it is, Tahm Kench now locked in to try to get a little bit of safety into that lane. They pretty much run it back from a go.
MOUZ have decided to change every single pick one by one, and we're like, yeah, we won the last game, let's just lock in the same thing. It's cool, man.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not really happy about that Tahm Kench pick, especially not into Kalista Galio. With an AoE taunt that you have out of Galio, plus you have great divers into the backline, Maokai, Gragas, Yasuo, you're going to be able to then throw in Galio. He doesn't even have to ult if he doesn't want to, because he's got Kalista to be able to get him in there.
Yeah, right now MOUZ have sort of like the full AoE teamfight setup with a ton of things to enable. They want to dive into as well because Kalista also wants to be moving forward in fights. Kind of low range with a comp like this. You're going to be looking to cut through the front line as fast as you possibly can and then jump onto the backside. And I'm a little bit concerned now, rocking the same draft back again for Rogue if they'll be able to replicate the same success they had in game one.
Might be a bit harder because they are going up against a comp that does match them toe-to-toe in that mid-game, but they do want to be able to find that victory. They thought it worked last time. They felt confident. They all run it back, but MOUZ, they are answering really well with their backs up to the wall.
And how can they change things up? Not just in the draft, but in the gameplay too here. You know, so much of the time when you see Gragas and Yasuo together, you're looking to play through that lane. Obsess on the Gragas is going to be trying to be active early on, both around mid lane and the bottom lane. Forget about top. That's going to be pretty much irrelevant for these two teams. Instead, Obsess with the early Predator. I'd love to see him try to make something happen.
As it is going to be, for now, the line of scrimmage from all members. Holding up strong. No one wanting to go for anything risky. Not wanting to risk it all, especially not for MOUZ, when an early loss like that, with their composition that wants to be able to find those picks early for Obsess and Leader, who want to be able to group up together and then make a play bot lane. They need to make sure they're playing this one safely until they feel that they have the power from Predator Boots Obsess.
So with both junglers starting on the top side of the map now, presumably pathing on down, the early blue start to me tells me Obsess isn't going for like a 3 camp and then base in towards a bottom side play. Usually you do that on the red side of the map where you're looking to like quickly clear through those AoE camps and then make some sort of move, which isn't necessarily the end of the world here for Obsess, who's trying to, you know, do most of this camp on his own, although Tolkin missing some mana will indicate to both top laners that both junglers have started top side, because of course Tolkin walks in top lane with less mana, Szygenda walks into top lane with some fury there. Will obviously tell you what's going on here, and Jeskla and promisq you already pushing super aggressively down towards that bottom side of the map. So Obsess is going to be wanting to get down towards bottom side and probably go for a full clear, while his bot lane can put down one ward and be pretty safe up against a Zanzarah gank. Sejuani plus Tahm Kench, not necessarily the dream team when it comes to making early plays happen.
No, and this is why you see a different pace in bot lane from Woolite and Mystiques, playing this one a little bit further back, not wanting to get themselves caught out, knowing that they don't have that same priority they had last time, where they felt confident going into the one-pick style of Thresh. And this time it is Galio who can just punch his way in, taunt if he needs to. Yeah, I was about to mention that from promisq. Not really getting anything. He rotated all the way up there, but again, he doesn't lose anything because they pushed so far in bot lane.
Yeah, that's the thing. I actually really like that move coming out of promisq. And of course, Czekolad, no stranger to the early ganks against him. Saw that last game. This time does give the respect over that's necessary. And now, Zanzarah snuck around here to try and attempt a mid lane play.
Szygenda looking for the early play onto the tank, while mid lane happens at the same time. Exhaust used on leader, trying to see if they can predict his flash, but he's going to exhaust himself. Arctic Assault, good flash is coming in. Trying to see if they can get Permafrost to be able to stack up, waiting for the cooldown, but could not reach. Had to back out.
Okay.
So leader gets out alive, and same top lane.
Yo, that was pretty nasty there from leader, using the E to get through the wall. Of course, does have to lose his flash and exhaust in the end, so going to be pretty tough for him, even sticking around to try and farm underneath the tower so he doesn't lose the wave, but able to survive there. Big surprise. I thought he was dead for sure.
Well done out of him, and he's hanging out in this mid lane too. He's not backing out because he does not have that TP, so it would be a devastating loss with all the experience crashing into his turret if he was losing out on that and wants to be able to get to level 6 to then group up with Obsess. But you're right, it was a great play. He held strong, waited to see if he can use E over the wall. Zanzarah pretty much gave him that free passage out of there.
Wait a second. Leader sticking around to push out the cannon wave as well. Might take him some time. Now, this is a situation where the lane could have been actually really doomed had Zanzarah been in the area, you know, knowing that leader had stuck around for the first wave, because the second Zanzarah forces him off that wave, all of a sudden the lane gets frozen near Czekolad's tower, and it's the same problem that leader was trying to prevent when, you know, he ended up going for, or not actually attempting that early reset, but because Zanzarah was still inside of his jungle, didn't see that as a possibility for a leader. The riskier move from leader to try and fully push that wave in ends up netting him decent positioning on the lane, but somehow that cannon minion didn't go under the tower.
No, well, I think what it was Czekolad picked it up and threw it out. I think that's all it was.
Oh, that's so smart,
He picked it up, threw it out, said, yeah, no, we're going to keep the lane frozen. You're not getting anything, leader.
Okay, well, it doesn't end up being that insane in the end because the wave is still close enough with 3 ranged on both sides and the red side minions, of course, bolstering the defenses first. So the lane will come back in towards leader and everything's fine. Even though it's juggling back and forth to our eyes, it's fine for him in the long run.
Not going to be too punished unless you can get a good gank coming in from Zanzarah, trying to read that, but it will be a little bit too late. The lane will be shoving back towards leader, so instead, he makes his eyes onto this Infernal Dragon. Saw Obsess nearby, but wants to threaten. Say, we have a little bit of priority in mid lane, but we also got it bot lane. With the early recalls from Jeskla and promisq, it allows Woolite and Mystiques to be able to show up.
And if MOUZ were going to contest this, they would have to drop a full wave down bot side, which they don't want to do, so they say, hey, it's fine, we're going to give over that early Infernal Dragon with a Drake, not a Drac, a Drake. And with the mountain spawning up next, means we're either going to be on a cloud map or on an ocean map. And an ocean map means that if Rogue do get 2 early Drakes, wow, they're in a really good position.
Obsess popped. Predator wanted to be able to go mid lane, but Czekolad saw that already, said, I don't have the mana to be able to fight back on this one. I'm going to back off, wait for the minion wave to reset. Maybe even call Szygenda here, see if we can make a play in the mid lane, but it is call Renekton. Not really something that's going to provide a lot of early power.
Yeah, well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's probably not the biggest difference in gold when it's between that and maybe another longsword here. Szygenda, obviously knowing that there's not a lot of pressure being put around the top side of the map and no pressure on him to have, like, some huge, insane impact that's not going to swing the lane. So I actually like the pickup for him now. Should have, you know, favorable... He should be able to push whenever he wants in the top lane, regardless of that early choice. So we'll just get that extra 180 payout down the road for a bit of a nice spike.
It just feels like he's not going to be able to get that solo kill on a Maokai, which I do agree. It's hard to be able to kill Maokai if you can't kill him early on. He's got Grasp. He's going to survive for a long time. Sap Magic's going to keep him topped off, but this is the play that we were expecting to see out of MOUZ. In the bot lane,
6.
Looking to see if they can get onto the flash comes in, but it's onto Woolite. Gobbles him up, spits him back out. Mystiques keeps his AD carry alive. They get a lot of damage. The TP has now been used. Szygenda goes big, and it's going to be the first blood onto Obsess. Looking to see if they can turn it around onto anybody else with Jeskla falling next. MOUZ might have bit off more than they can chew because they're getting locked up right there. Leader on the back line, but he dies to Woolite, only getting the 1 kill coming in from Tolkin. It was devastating for MOUZ. Rogue, fire back smart.
MOUZ are going so ham down there in the bottom lane at 7 minutes in. They get aced. They lose all 5 members when one more loss, one game loss means they are out of EU Masters, and it does not work at all. Watch this play one more time because I don't think Leader's in range for the knockup right at the start of the play. Regardless, Mystiques would have had his Devour anyways, so Leader comes in here with the knockup ready, but they're stuck 4 members in between the tower. Szygenda's level 6, so he's going to be absolutely devastating at this point. I think Leader's knockup timed out as well. He still has not pressed the R inside of this fight. Never even gets the chance here to use that ability. Czekolad doesn't even have to show up. His team just won the 4v5.
4v5 fight, Rogue win over the composition we were talking about. We wanted to see an early play coming in from them, and they botched it in that dive. It was also very well read by Mystiques on that Tahm Kench. I love that he flashed out, then devoured Woolite, who got knocked up and punched up by promisq, to then spit him out and keep him alive. It was such a great play, but now they have to replicate that here because they got Czekolad almost got out, and again, spit back out to keep him alive. A lot of damage thrown back onto promisq, immediately blown up with Leader. Gonna follow into the grave. This isn't looking so good for MOUZ. They're trying to flash away to be able to escape, but here comes a Visceral Voyage onto Tolkin to be able to slow him down. He has Blast Cone to be able to stay alive, but that's all for naught because it's around the Rift Herald objective.
What are we doing, MOUZ? There's a Tahm Kench right there. They unload everything. Now they use that Yasuo ulti, but it's onto a Syndra who has a TK right next to her. MOUZ are feeling so pressured right now to force a play, but once again, they find themselves at a massive early deficit, except this time it came even sooner. I mean, here, like, what? There's a Tahm Kench right there. You cannot do that, and you can see how easily promisq and Leader are punished. They're playing a comp that wants to dive into the backlines, so if they do not pop off immediately, they do not choose their abilities in the right positions, they will instantly be cut down, and that's exactly what's happened twice in a row now.
MOUZ have played a risky game throughout European Masters, throughout the Prime League. They always play this rough and tumble style, and it's finally biting them back where they have a team that is willing to engage them early on. Make sure that they can always disengage as well. It's not going the way they need to, and Szygenda continues to put this pressure onto Tolkin, who's absorbed so much in the past, but just cannot go toe-to-toe against Szygenda.
Yeah, just like, I don't know what they're supposed to do at this point. You can see, like, Jeskla and promisq still trying to maybe camp in this bottom river, or in this bottom lane brush to make a play, but it's not like MOUZ can slow down. It's not like they can say, comfortably, yes, we outscale, of course. Like, that's not necessarily true. Like, yes, their team fights can be good later on, but if you're constantly down 2,500 gold, they are not going to be working out for you at all if you're giving up these Drakes with a mountain spawning up just in a second.
Mystique doesn't care. promisq goes up them, and it's like, all right, cool. You want to fight me? That's chill. I'm down.
Hits him with the Teemo thumbs up as well, and here we go. Now's the moment of truth for MOUZ, whether or not they can lay off the gas for just a second. Once this Drake goes down, if it is an ocean map, which means we're just 10 minutes away from Rogue picking up a potential ocean soul, they're going to have to figure out something very, very quickly, because that is not beatable if you give up the ocean soul to a Rogue squad that's already ahead.
All DACH region fans, MouseSports fans are cringing at the sight of that. That is the one dragon they did not want to see for Rogue. This gives them so much power to look for a play, not getting the ult to land. Leader trying to see if he can have the fancy footwork again to be able to escape, but he's going to be locked down. Here comes Unleash Power. One more slap comes from Szygenda to be able to pick up the 3rd kill over Leader.
Look, there were a lot of missed skill shots right there, but Rogue had the right idea in mind, and they are rewarded heavily for it. Full vision control down around that bottom side with Zanzarah coming around from behind. Even though he missed the ultimate, it was legitimately a zoning ult right there. Leader could not walk back into it. He had to go towards Rogue's side of the map and gets punished one more time. Leader just not having the game, not having a great day overall, as continues to be punished here by Rogue.
This is the team that came out of the groups the strongest. MOUZ were the only team to be 5-1 ender. And here they are, backs against the wall, down 3,000 gold now to Rogue at 12 minutes in a match point game.
it's just incredible to see, and Rogue not looking to let off the gas at all in this one either, you know, so we saw last time with the early heralds. Here we go, we got to play.
Good body block from Zanzarah, but can anyone else follow up? Woolite already got knocked back. They're gonna have Czekolad be able to show up, maybe even pop Rift Herald into the spot lane. There it is, gonna immediately pop it with Czekolad being nearby. MOUZ trying to defend, but this is not gonna look good. Look at how much damage that promisq took.
Oh! Czekolad didn't have the ulti, otherwise that was certainly going to be an immediate kill on towards that Galio. They're not going to greed too much down in this bottom lane either. It's pre-14 minutes, so all they came here for were the turret plates, and that one should go down very soon if they want it to as well. I mean, just check out the gold between these two teams. It's surprising to actually see how close mid lane still is, but top lane, bot lane, both opening up wide gaps. And while Czekolad was the big problem in game 1 for MOUZ, this game, it's Woolite who got the early triple kill in that bottom lane fight, and he's already got an item and a half. Even though he's down in CS, right, this wasn't supposed to be like a great matchup for the Varus where he's slamming lane. He is still very comfortable at the moment.
He was shoved into his turret at level 1. He had the early recall to be able to survive against Jeskla and promisq. They had the early rotation out of promisq as well, yet Woolite survived and now is thriving. This sounds exactly the same that happened for Czekolad last time, where he got early ganked. He was the one struggling, but he came back with a vengeance when the first fights broke out.
Now MOUZ have to figure out some way to stop the bleeding, because we're 2 minutes away from yet another Ocean Drake, which realistically not looking too good for them to attack. But we do have Obsess walking towards the top lane, maybe trying to shut down Szygenda.
Looking to see if they can get that.
I don't think they have the damage. I really don't think they have the damage here, Magical, because Szygenda, like, all he has to do is pop ulti. Tolkin didn't have mana either. Like, I guess that was an attempt, but now that Obsess sort of showed his hand towards the top side of the map, here comes Zanzarah around bot side looking for Jeskla.
Looking to see if they can get the gank onto Jeskla. It's going to be the taunt coming in from promisq. He will be able to survive. They get a little bit of damage on promisq. Having to see if he can dodge. He couldn't save his AD carry. He tried so valiantly to be able to body block, but it was too late.
It's the difference between Tahm Kench and any other support. Tahm Kench saves his AD carry. promisq gets saved by his AD carry right there with the Kalista. So it is just Rogue getting more and more across the map. They're able to steal away some jungle camps as well. We're looking at a huge gold lead, 5,500 right now for Rogue, just 15 minutes in, with the 20-minute Ocean Soul as an option too for Rogue. Like, they are absolutely wiping the floor with MOUZ in a matchup that almost everyone came in expecting MOUZ to come away with.
MOUZ were the favorites. They were taking the title and the crown away from Schalke No Fear, saying this is the strongest team out of the groups. No way they are going to fall in the quarterfinals. They made it to semifinals last year. There's a lot of pressure riding on them to keep up that same level of dominance, but they might fall out of quarterfinals, and this could be Poland with their best season ever of European Masters, reaching newer heights, and this all on the back of Rogue.
Yeah, I mean, Kick already made it to the knockout stage. Rogue just one Nexus away from going into the semifinals here with a dominant 2-0 victory. So MOUZ are going to pull the trigger. Tolkin on the flank, looking for Woolite.
Looking to see if they can get Nature's Grasp. They haven't gotten the knockup. They jump onto Woolite, but immediately he's gobbled up by Mystique, keeping Woolite alive, saying, you're not allowed to get this 400 bounty that's on top of his head. And all the while, Szygenda gets a turret on top.
It was a good opportunity for MOUZ to look, and Obsess doesn't have the ultimate, but the ults are just about to come back up from Rogue. I think they need to get out of this river immediately. If you are MOUZ, you do not want this fight.
I don't think they pathed the right way. I almost thought that they were going to get jumped on, but there is no deep ward for Szygenda to be able to TP to cut them off from escaping. So instead, they just TP in Szygenda,
go for the steal.
Look for this dragon. They want to be able to be at soul point. Obsess goes over the wall, but he was spotted by Szygenda, looking to see if they can get the rip, but he goes back over the wall, not wanting to die, and that means Rogue are at Ocean Soul Point.
I think that's a situation where Obsess is supposed to trade his life just for the 50-50 right there. Like, obviously he wanted to stay alive, but if you can get that dragon, you delay the soul by 5 minutes. That is massive. Who cares about the actual buff of the Ocean Drake? And it's not like there's a Baron on the map to contest. MOUZ were never going to be able to contest around. Actually, they could contest the Herald because there's no TP on towards Szygenda. Zanzarah smartly backing off of that one, so maybe they can get something, but I still feel like the better call, like, this Herald is going to get you a couple hundred gold maximum.
Agreed.
the Drake could have changed the outcome of this game.
It's about the timers. That's what it's all about for Rogue. They have a composition exact same as last game. The game one, they found victory. Comfort is winning out the day for them. They feel like they can put the pedal to the metal in this mid game, and there's no answer that MOUZ have had that has been able to shut them down.
I'm looking around the map trying to figure out like what can MOUZ do. There aren't a lot of I'm really trying to put the thinking cap on this one. And
don't hurt yourself.
Yeah,
I know that's hard for you.
They've got a rift shell. They can put it down somewhere, but the turrets aren't low enough, barring bot lane, for it to actually just one-shot. So I don't know if they could actually commit a lot of members towards any side of the map. Remember, there is always going to be the Abyssal Voyage over on the side of Rogue to be able to defend somewhere. So this is looking very, very grim for the side of MOUZ. Again, it's probably going to come down to whether or not Obsess can steal away that Ocean Drake and delay this game. But even then, Baron's going to be coming up soon, and Rogue with double items on Woolite's on-hit Varus here. They take that one down pretty fast.
I also wonder if they're going to try to see if they can set up a pick onto Rogue. Look for someone like Woolite who might overextend, get himself caught out. We look back to the group stage. Two of their...
Wow, Magical's microphone performing just about as well as MOUZ in this one right here. not being able to stick through us. They've got 7 good minutes in with them. We got 18 with Magical at the very least. So now Zanzarah going to walk on in here. Obsess will, of course, pick up the blue buff for the squad. And we got him back.
I'm back.
Maybe MOUZ still have a chance.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, maybe the internet's got us on a timer saying that they want this over. So either Rogue is going to be able to pick up this victory because they're looking for a fight early on. It's going to be the flash coming in from promisq, but it's onto the backline. They get a lot of damage. Mystiques going to be able to keep Czekolad alive, but everyone has to be able to jump on him if they can. They're going to be able to get the shutdown. Jump onto Woolite. He tried to flash away, but it's the shutdown. The pick comes in for MOUZ. They found the right members. And this is the fight they needed. Mid-game, starting to go their way. Mystiques bounce around, and Leader will get himself his first kill.
You have got to be kidding me. Just like Magical's mousesports come back right here, choosing a great fight in the top river. Szygenda isolated down bot lane without the TP. This is exactly the play that MOUZ needed. They've got so much needed gold. It's still a big lead for the side of Rogue, but just the hope going in to a potential game-ending fight around that Ocean Soul is going to be huge for them. See this play one more time, because so Jeskla and promisq both show themselves. Tolkin doesn't. Zanzarah walks into them. They immediately pull the trigger. MOUZ not scared at all to make this play happen, even though Leader wasn't there immediately. He is able to enter into the fight with a knockup going down on towards Woolite there, of course, and the most important fact was that Szygenda had no way of entering into that fight. That's huge for MOUZ.
4v5. They get the pick onto Czekolad. Essentially then a 3v5. It was the pick that we were talking about that MOUZ needed to get back into this game. They still have a 4,000k gold deficit against Rogue. That is going to keep them alive. It's all about timers for them. If they can survive this early and mid game, they do have scaling options.
Yeah, so importantly for MOUZ coming into this next fight, there's no flash on Woolite and there's no summoners onto Mystique. So it's actually much more realistic that they're able to land knockups on important targets, where Obsess can actually knock a Mystiques away, where you can actually lock him down maybe with a Maokai flank, so he can't just cleanse flash gobble up whoever's getting jumped on by the side of MOUZ. Items have also come through just a little bit. Still no Infinity Edge on Leader, which is going to be unfortunate for them, considering pretty much everyone on the side of Rogue do have their 2 core items, but this is a fight, while difficult, is still winnable for MOUZ.
Szygenda was taking just a little bit of poke, but he's scary enough. Seeing a crocodile in front of a bunch of people, not wanting to step up near him. MOUZ are forced to see if they can make a TP flank from Tolkin. He already recalled, but look at how far away he is. It's going to be the backup onto Szygenda. He's staying alive. Mystique's going to be able to spit him out, and then they throw back the kill onto Leader. No knockup out of promisq. Instead, it's going to be Unleash Power, unleashing hell onto MOUZ. Tolkin, you're too low. I'm sorry, you tried your best, but you're going to die with the rest of them. Everyone is taking them down. Then they jump onto Jeskla, the last surviving member for MOUZ. No scatter of the week that time, but it doesn't matter. They found the victory, and they will find the soul.
Obsess saw the window where he could find that engagement, but Tolkin wasn't able to get into that fight nearly quickly enough. Rogue play it smart, they play it well, they stand their ground, and they cut down MOUZ. Now they've got the Ocean Soul, and they are in prime position to be able to win this game and take the series.
Look at how far away that TP is from Tolkin. He is not going to be able to join the fight for some time, so losing leader before he shows up is devastating.
Yeah, I mean, the Tahm Kench pick just also ruining MOUZ time and time again, able to get Szygenda on out of there, and Jeskla trying to do what he can from over the wall, but it's not enough. The death ball that is Rogue, running the same exact composition from game 1 back in game number 2 is enough to stay alive, and now it's become near impossible. You have to cut down through the healing that Rogue have from the Ocean Soul. There's a stopwatch on Szygenda, a Zhonya's on Czekolad. The 2 exhausts are off cooldown, or on cooldown for the coming minutes, but it may still not be enough for them to get the kills they need.
They don't have TP. They can't flank with Tolkin anymore. They don't have the exhaust out of leader. They only have it on Jeskla, and if Jeskla has to use exhaust, that means you're way too close to the fight for Kalista to like.
And without any vision control either, it becomes so difficult. Now Zanzarah going in on Obsess.
Looking for the pick onto the jungler, trying to take away Obsess. But look at how much damage that Zanzarah was able to eat up right there. He's going to be able to go back to full all the while. Szygenda looking for the 1v1 kill. Tolkin going to be able to chop down the tree. He's got the grievous wounds with Bramble Vest. And without the top laner, they want to make the call to bait in MOUZ.
It's just a sleight of hand there from Rogue. They go mid, they go top, they're back in mid, and they get another kill.
Get it onto the jungler too. No way out of this one. They've locked down promisq. They pull him back out with Fate's Call, but it doesn't matter. It's all a bait to try to zone you away and then look for the objective, because leader is nowhere close. He's not going to be able to join to fight over that Baron.
Man, it's time for the Baron here for Rogue. They've got everything they could possibly ask for. Zero chance of a steal coming in from MOUZ, although leader is trying to run on up there. It is not going to happen for this team. Rogue have won fight after fight after fight and look like they're going to be able to take this series too.
It's with the same damn comp too, Under. They ran it back and we didn't believe in them, but look at them now. They are at that precipice of victory. They want to get the unexpected upset and sweep over MOUZ, the reigning champions from that region. That is what we're talking about. It's all about pressure, and Rogue have been able to live up to the heights.
They've lived up to the hype, and they've just constantly tried to force these fights, too. Like, I don't know if I've seen a Sejuani quite like Zanzarah's in the past, just jumping over walls every which way. The vision control has been dominant from this squad and enabled him to find a lot of these moves. He's been a part of 13 of the 15 kills for his team. Same can be said of Mystiques on that Tahm Kench as well. Brilliant performance from these two players. Zanzarah to start off the fights, and Mystiques to make sure that leader does not to play this game. Every time he tries to go in, there's just a Devour right there to ruin its day.
They're too squishy on MOUZ. The only real tank they have is Tolkin. Look at promisq. He's still working on his Gargoyle Stone Plate. He's going to get blown up anytime he joins in a fight. It's going to be so difficult for them to find a flank, and
Mystiques just going to walk out of that one with an Obsess going on in here. Now Zanzarah caught in this tight corridor, or is MOUZ caught themselves? Rogue not backing down at all, while Szygenda is continuing to push down in that bottom lane. Now he's on the inhibitor tower, and MOUZ are doing nothing. They may just stand their ground in the mid.
They're trying to fight back. They got the double knockup, and they get the flash on to leader. They've taken out Woolite. They're looking for Mystiques, but they can't kill Tahm Kench just yet. Good scatter of the week comes in from Czekolad as the rest of the base is starting to fall. They might re-engage this fight. They got MOUZ pretty low.
Why is Szygenda leaving bot lane? Keep pushing for the inhibitor, buddy. Your team trying to win that 4v5. Now, maybe he is overextending, or maybe Rogue think they can win this fight.
You can't win the fight against him. He's too strong right now. This is the re-engage that they need. promisq was able to get the knockup on Zanzarah, but everyone else has been flanked away. They're running back to the base, and Szygenda continues the hunt. He gets the shots, and they claw right into MOUZ. Everyone's knocked up. 4v5 doesn't matter a damn for Rogue as they find the victory in the fight.
Rogue don't even need Woolite to win that one. Szygenda, absolute monster walk straight into the face of 5 people in the base of MOUZ, is knighted by Mystiques as Rogue look to close out the series.
Rogue continue to climb the mountain for Poland. They've set new heights in this. They look like they're gonna go to the semifinals. They've taken down Leader. They're looking to take down another champion, Obsess. No one's gonna stand in front of them, and they will defy expectations and take down MOUZ.
What a day here for Rogue, coming in as the underdogs against MOUZ, a roster where you recognize so many names, but Rogue came in and they destroyed them. Game 1, Game 2, they ran the same comp back twice and didn't slow down for even a second there, Magical.
No, they did not. That was surprising. Out of Rogue, they get the sweep. They get the surprise victory over MOUZ, and they will find themselves in the semifinals, the first time Poland has ever found a team there.
And maybe a chance for two to go on with Kick playing just later tomorrow here. Rogue, I mean, I can't say anything but good stuff about this team. They played fast. Each one of their players stepped up in different ways. I mean, Czekolad, you remember the Syndra performance in Game 1 was completely on top of the world. And then Mystiques in this game, man, like, I would not want to be in the shoes of Leader or MOUZ after that one, because every time they tried to do something, albeit overforcing much of the time, there was a Tahm Kench right there to make them pay.
Well, thank you, Ender, for your time. You're awesome casting with, as always. For now, we're going to toss it to a break. When we come back, I will interview Zanzarah and talk about that victory that AGO just got.
Yo.
You've seen our name on the jerseys of amazing teams. Now, we are supporting one more. One that you don't see live on TV. But they are the best team in the world, and they are playing the toughest game. Maybe they're not performing in front of millions, but they are under the pressure of an entire planet. And they don't have fans cheering their names, but they have patients who will forever remember them. And they also need your help to win this game. Stay home like a pro.
Hello, welcome back into European Masters. I'm here with a Go Rogues jungler, Zanzarah. Thank you so much for joining.
Yo.
Congrats on the 2-0 victory.
Thank you very much.
Dude, it was fantastic out of you guys. That was quite the upset. mousesports were pegged as one of the strongest teams coming out of the groups. How do you prepare for a matchup like that?
I don't know that. I don't think they're that strong. I mean,
Ooh.
people saying like they're strong because they have like leader,
Right.
bot lane, like oh man, they can like stomp us. But we have like really good results against them and scrims, and I'm like, okay, you just banned like 2 champions to their mid laner, pick Sejuani, and he's like, I don't know what to do. I don't want to take cleanse. I don't die. And you saw like
I definitely saw that.
2 games, 15 minutes, both. Like they cannot do anything with that, you know. So it just like
Exactly.
from our perspective, it was like it's not really like preparation, you know, something. We're just like okay, everyone understand how they play. Okay, we just pick like a lot of CC, ban 2 champions for leader, and he's dead. Okay, then you win the game. And as you saw, they are not ready for that. They're not ready, and they lose. It's obvious.
No, you guys did great. I loved it, and it's a great thing to see because in tiebreakers, you guys did stumble a little bit. How was it going from Sunday, where it wasn't the best performance, to this kind of showing?
It's just you should understand. Like, it's if it's our day, we can win everyone. It's like if it's our day, you know. If it's not our day, we can lose. Like sometimes our decisions in game good, sometimes it's questionable. Like tiebreaker day was questionable. Today day was good. Today we played good. Mouse played bad. 2 games easy, you know. But LDLC was good prepared for us. They played aggressive early game. They punished me. They kind of don't let us play for aggressive early game, so we cannot dictate the tempo of the game. And after that, it's hard to do so. I mean, hard for us. It just became a more clown fest in decision making. But MOUZ, they didn't even contest anything, you know. We just like, okay, we got Jake. We take Jake. Okay.
Right. And you guys ran it back with the comp. I love it. You had so much confidence going into them. It was the same comp. And I just got to ask, was that just that much confidence that no matter what they threw at you, you could beat them with it?
Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, like my team saying me, like we practice a full early game champs, and then competitive games comes, and they say pick Sejuani. I'm like, why? I mean, they don't want Sejuani. I'm like, okay, we'll go Sejuani, I guess. I pick Sejuani. Same with every pick, you know. We just pick once, we win the game, and then like, oh, Renekton is open. We pick Renekton. Varus Tahm Kench is open. Okay, go Varus Tahm Kench. They don't. I mean, they change something in the draft, but like we get the same champs. You know how you wanna win. And I mean, I don't know. Like, like this series was like, I don't know. It just like was full forward. We just pick our champs, not against them, but it just like we just pick because we are good on it, and we just win. And like, okay, I guess it's just like 2 solo queue games, and we just go next.
I agree. You guys did great. So I want to ask, looking forward, who you might face off. LDLC are taking on BTXL, who are on a hot streak. Who do you think you're going to meet up in the semifinals?
It's hard. Actually, it's hard to say because I think both teams is kind of can surprise. You know, I think both teams kind of they have our problem. You know, if it's their day, they can win everything. You know, it could be like 2-0 LDLC or it could be like 2-0 XL. It's hard to say. But I think XL would win because they have more like structured gameplay. You know, they can play around bot, they can play around top. But LDLC, they kind of hard rely on their jungler, and if their jungler for some reason cannot do anything early game, or he doesn't have options on lane to set up this place, he just they kind of fall off. So I would say it's like XL victory, but I think LDLC could take 1 game. Like it's 2-1 for XL.
All right. I'm going to ask you one more question before we sign off. So I'm going to assume you have the confidence, regardless who wins that matchup, you feel confident you're going to be able to get to the finals. But I want to see, do you think that Kick and Neosurf are as strong and going to be able to make it into the final so we have an all-Polish final?
Of course. Why you even ask, man? Poland, the strongest region. Strongest
I love
national region. You cannot even. It's like easy, man. It's like Polish final. It's like there is no. I mean, I don't know. It's like obvious for me, obvious for every fan of our league, I think. So it's just like easy, man. We just need kick in final and chill, and then maybe win. But Poland will win anyway, So so easy for kick final.
Zanzarah,
Easy.
it was great talking with you. You're awesome. Thank you so much. It was a quick 2 games, and that's all for me. Thank you for joining. When we come back, Excandrel and Foxdrop will take over for LDLC against PTXL, so stick around.